At this time, I'd like to remind you to turn off or silence all cell phones and other electronic devices that may interrupt the ceremony. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Captain Eric Scarlett, and I will be the Master of Ceremony for today's commissioning. On behalf of the Commander, Colonel Rebecca Lang, and Detachment 105, I welcome you to today's Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps commissioning ceremony. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to explain the sequence of events for today's ceremony. We will begin with welcoming the official party, followed by our national anthem, and then the invocation. It is appropriate for civilian guests in military and civilian attire to place their right hands over their hearts during the national anthem. You are all also reminded to remove any hats. And now, please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the playing of ruffles and flourishes, the posting of the colors, the singing of the national anthem, and the invocation. now welcome Cadet Brianne Rayleigh to provide the invocation.
Commissioning is a momentous occasion as all the cadets take the oath of office and don the gold second lieutenant bars. As we gather to honor their hard work of these future officers, I invite you to take a few moments for your own prayer or reflection as I offer this invocation. Heavenly Father, I pray to you for the cadets who are becoming officers today. These cadets have worked purposefully to prepare for their roles as officers. They've enthusiastically accepted their commission to serve the United States and the airmen and guardians under their command. I pray for wisdom and confidence as they enter their respective units. As officers, they are tasked with leadership and responsibility in their unit. May they be officers of good character and morals that they will rightly use the trust committed to them for the good of all people. I am grateful to the friends and family who have come to support these future officers. Their support brings tremendous meaning and encouragement to the current service members and these future service members. I pray for blessings upon the family members and their surrounding community. There may be fears or upcoming challenges in the lives of the people in attendance. I pray for strength and courage to persevere in those challenges and that any anxieties would be removed. We feel unified in a mission to serve and protect our nation. We do not yet know what the future holds, but these future officers are committed to selflessly serve to the highest of their abilities. Please keep them safe and watch over them as they carry out their duties. We reflect on the meaning of our lives and on the providence that has kept us for this moment. Direct our national dreams towards the freedoms for all peoples and talents and energies and commitment towards that hope. May your rich blessings rest upon each member. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock, my redeemer. Amen.
Thank you, Cadet Rayleigh. Please be seated. Our first speaker today will be Colonel Rebecca Lang, Commander of Air Force ROTC Detachment 105. As Commander, Colonel Lang is responsible for developing Air and Space Force leaders of character, whom we expect to fight and win our nation's wars. Together with 9 cadre members, she administers a college-level training program for over 250 cadets, 34 of whom are commissioning here today, as well as 55 full-time Air and Space Force officers earning an advanced academic degree. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Colonel Lang.
All right, well, good afternoon. On behalf of the cadre and the cadets of Detachment 105, welcome to our spring commissioning ceremony. Today is as big as it gets in the life of a cadet, and it's a great day for our nation as we commission 34 new lieutenants into the Space Force and the Air Force. But first, before we go any further, we need to give it up for the CU Buffoons for the incredible rendition of the national anthem. So I want to extend a warm welcome to every single person joining us today, whether it's here in Boulder or on Zoom. So there are only 24 hours in the day, and where you spend your time is a reflection of your priorities. And so I thank every single one of you for making the graduating class, the spring 2025, your priority today. So before we do anything else, we're going to recognize the families. So this day is a reflection of your love and support. And your nation thanks you for raising these extraordinary human beings. So if able, we would love to have all of the parents and the grandparents stand to be recognized. And all of the cadets that are here to support their seniors and thinking about when this day will be for them, thank you so much for being here and taking the time. So our cadet wing receives 105%, 360-degree support from the university and from the community. And so I'm going to do my best to catch them all, but if there is an unintentional miss, please talk to me afterwards so I can make that right. To our university leaders, thank you for joining us this afternoon. We cannot accomplish our mission without your support, which is visible and felt every single day. First, I want to recognize Chancellor Justin Schwartz, who is here today. He first met all of you at the Chancellor's Parade in September, and even before then, I'm sure, and since then, his support has been visible and felt every single day. Chancellor, thank you for making the cadets a priority. And on behalf of the graduating class, Colonel Rekovitz has the class going to present to you. And Chancellor, we know your dance card is full today. There is a lot happening on the university, so we understand that you have to step out when able, but thank you so much for taking the time. All right, Ms. Catherine Eggert is here, Vice Chancellor and Senior Vice Provost. Ma'am, thank you so much. We also have Major General retired Jack Briggs, and so he is now the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Public Safety. However, retired two-star, who is a former F-117, F-111, and Strike Eagle pilot as well. We just happened to meet on campus, and it was so fun to meet a fellow airman on campus. In general, we can't wait to bring over to the detachment and learn more from you. Awesome. We have the one and only Sid Gustafson here as well. He was a stalwart in the university with the Marine Corps detachment and a professor as well, and we are so thankful to have you here. Mr. Steve Bosley, I did see you coming in. Let me see if you made it. All right, well, Steve, he may come in later. I do want to mention him, though. So he is the founder and the trailblazer of the Boulder 10K. He's a key member for the Center for Leadership, but more importantly today, he is someone who is deeply connected and invested in the military service in the Boulder community and beyond. And he is a big fan of you all, and so if you see him, be sure to say hi. Eva Baraska, I know that you're here. Ma'am, there you go, way in the back. So Eva's from Peak to Peak and the Center for Leadership as well, and she goes above and beyond to generously contribute and donate leadership coaching and mentorship to the entire cadet wing. And it's so nice to see you. Thanks for taking the time. All right, I didn't see her, but I know her other half is here. Councilmember Jen Cowish, Town of Superior, and her husband, Lieutenant Colonel Cam Cowish. Welcome. Here in Spirit, we've got Chancellor Jennifer Sobonate, the Chancellor of University of Colorado Springs, who's an incredible supporter, Dr. Braylon Pantel, Colorado School of Mines, and also Dean Erica Randall, unable to be here, but she sends her very best, and her congratulations to you all. And for the rest of faculty and staff in attendance, know how much we appreciate you. Please pass our thanks to all those you represent. I'd also like to offer a very special welcome to our Gold Star families who are here today. They represent the ultimate sacrifice of choosing the profession of arms. We have Robert and Charlotte Long here today, parents of Captain Rob Long, class of 1990. They are true Det 105 royalty and wonderful friends. And we also welcome Ham and Donna Du Bois, proud parents of Captain Pyra Du Bois, class of 2008. Through scholarships, through visits, through friendship. We know the other Gold Star families are here in spirit and send their congratulations to you all. We are honored that you continue to invest in the cadets and make time to be part of the detachment family, and we love you very much. All right, our we is big at Det 105. We have phenomenal partners who offer unwavering support to the cadets year after year after year. So my favorite colonel is here, Colonel Mike Rutzla, who was my PAS back in the day, but more importantly for today, he's representing the Air and Space Force Association, who donated all the flags for all of the commissionees. So Colonel, thank you so much. Colonel Lindahl, are you here? Sir, thank you so much. He represents the Military Officers Association of America, who all those gold bars you're about to wear are from his organization. So, sir, thank you so much for being here today. All right, Rex Laceby, I saw you right over here. For every coin the coins that you saw in your seat, they are from Rex, who represents the Sea Alumni Association Forever Buffs Veterans Alumni Association. So Rex, thanks for always showing up. Also, a quick note on Rex, he also showed up to shovel the stadium back in November because we had to put out a call for help, and Rex showed up with other veterans, and I just want to publicly thank him for that. That's pretty impressive. All right, Karen, Plan Help generously donated the ROTC recognition cords. Karen, thank you so much for being here. All right, and the Net 105 Alumni Association, who sponsors so much, to include a new award that you'll see here soon. We are truly blessed to have so many partners that support our everyday operations and beyond. All right, so we all know this just didn't happen. It didn't come together. We didn't wake up this morning and all show up. And so where's Cadet Schmoll? She passed out in the back. She was so tired. There we go. Cadet Schmoll. All right, anybody else who had something to do with this, raise your hand so we can recognize you. Amazing. Thank you so much. All right, Cadet Braley, great job on the vacation. Thank you. And to the UMC reps in the back, working the lights and everything else, thank you. You're the unsung hero making today happen. So thanks for the support and being here today. All right, so finally, I'm going to offer a thank you to the hardworking and extremely dedicated cadre that got you across the finish line, past and present. So many are seated here in front, and it is their steadfast support in your development, especially the head coaches. We've got Captain Ethan Brown, Lieutenant Colonel Rukovitz, and Major Melissa Reeser, who served as their primary instructor. Our NCO team, led by Tech Sergeant Corona, Sergeant Bell, Sergeant Swain, they do the impossible every day to make sure that all the requirements are properly documented. Perhaps the other unsung hero, Ms. Davis. I know you're going to hate this, but let's give a hand to Ms. Davis. Gianlo and Heather Allen, of course, from the other universities. Okay, special welcome to the former cadre, Colonel Brad Spears. You are here for the preponderance of these cadet careers, so sir, thank you so much for being here. We've got Lieutenant Colonel Cam Cowish, already raised his hand, Major Michael, Major Colazzo, Mr. Long, and the one and only Master Sergeant Hajimandi. Keep it from being true by not saying it, I would, but we also honor Lieutenant Colonel Nichelle Summers. It's her last commissioning ceremony today. She's a 2002 Det 105 graduate. She got back as fast as she could. I can relate to that. She was this class's sophomore instructor, and I know that you are all more prepared, developed, ready to lead because of her real talk, because of her influence, because of her mentorship, and everybody in this room needs to give a huge round of applause to Colonel Summers because she has influenced the next 30 years of officers in the Air Force. So, Michelle. All right. Okay, so to the cadets, I know I was in the doghouse last August when I made you wait for your AFSCs. I know. I still stand by that decision. But I will be back in it if I make you wait any longer to hear from Lieutenant General Lofgren. So, I'm going to wrap up. I want you to know that you are going to be deeply, deeply missed. You are an extraordinary group of human beings who have authored an incredible future for yourselves. You pushed through a global pandemic, faced every challenge head on, you kept moving forward, you brought others along with you, and you showed up. And you know what that means, right? When you show up. You and your authentic selves are exactly what the Air Force, what the Space Force need. And I'm so happy that you are officially commission ready. So, all right. All right. It is my honor and privilege to welcome and introduce Lieutenant General Lofgren, U.S. Air Force retired. His full biography is in your programs, but I'll give you some of the highlights. Retired in 2018, distinguished 34-year career. A graduate of the Air Force Academy, command pilot, 3,000 flight hours, F-16, KC-10, various training aircraft, numerous leadership roles 14th Fighter Squadron, 8th Fighter Wing, 388th Air Expeditionary Wing, Commander of the Warfare Center at Nellis, and Deputy Commander of Central Command. I would argue, equally as important, helping to raise and influence the one and only Cadet Lofgren. Right over here. There you go. But also, before I bring up, I just want to give a shout out to Mrs. Lofgren because spouses are the one that do all the hard work at home, and so I just want to give a public recognition of that as well. So, all right, General Lofgren would be so honored if you would come to the stage.
Thank you, Colonel Lang, for that kind introduction. It's an honor to be with you here today on such a special day, right? We just experienced graduation, now commissioning, and soon you're going to be off on that adventure of a new lifetime. And it is a congratulations that was well earned. So super, super excited for you guys. Now, though before I give my remarks and talk to you, the soon-to-be officers here, I think it's important that we talk about family, friends, and loved ones that are here to support you. Without their support, I don't think you would be here. It is their love and support that has really driven you to the point where you are today. That support cannot be overstated. Therefore, to you, the commissioning officers, I encourage you to take time this weekend to talk to your family, your friends, your loved ones, and in a meaningful way, tell them how much that support has meant to you. I think to start, standing up and giving them some applause would be inappropriate, right? Let's do it. Now, your commander asked me to talk to you about leadership and tell a few war stories. Well, it's a little dangerous to ask an old fire pilot to tell war stories, so I had to narrow it down a little bit, but I did narrow it down to one while I was a lieutenant long ago, and the other when I commanded lieutenants in action. Regarding leadership, I thought I would share with you the guy that I've used throughout my career to guide me and keep me grounded in everything that I do in every leadership role I did, from squadron command up to running the Air War as the Deputy Combined Air Force Component Commander. Those experiences have given me insight into leading men and women, both preparing for action and in combat. I refer to my guide by the acronym TEAM. Now, we in the military love our acronyms, right? So we got more acronyms than we know what to do with, but here it is, TEAM. And I hope you'll remember TEAM, because TEAM stands for teamwork, excellence, attitude, and mission. For you see, going forward from this point, it's all about teamwork. As you lead, teamwork will be essential and central to everything that you do. And what you do to set the standards for the team will be incredibly important. You're going to lead teams that will have to work with other services, that will work with coalition partners. You're going to lead teams that work within your own organization and across organizations. Your leadership must stress teamwork, not individual action. Just as a captain of a football team or any team is part of the team, so are you as leaders of the team. But you play an incredibly important role on that team. Don't forget it. Your job is to build the team, taking advantage of the strengths of your teammates and minimizing the weaknesses through resilience and toughness and practice. As a leader, you must focus on excellence in all that you do, no matter if somebody is looking or not. You must hold yourself to that higher standard, and you must hold the team to that higher standard. You must constantly strive for excellence. That drive for excellence is what has made our Air Force and our Space Force the best in the world. But we cannot rely on our laurels. We must constantly work at it. To take advantage of such, or to take such a demanding task, you must have a positive, can-do attitude. It is a must. Does anybody like to work with somebody who's negative? I don't, I know you don't, so let's not go there. In fact, I always like to say I'm an American. I am not an American. I know that's a double negative, but you get my point. Even as a second lieutenant, you're going to impact your organization. With your attitude, always putting your best foot forward will be important, as people will be watching carefully. These leadership attributes will help you focus on the mission and the ability to succeed in that mission through teamwork, excellence, and attitude. This incredible formula will ground you in what is expected of you as future officers in the Air Force and Space Force. I know you can execute this team philosophy because even though you might not say it, you might not acknowledge it, but you are very special. Very few, in fact, very, very few feel the way you do. Something inside you is saying you want to be something bigger than yourself. You want to do something bigger than just you. You have decided to put service before self. That's an important attribute. And you are also soon to be part of an incredible team, Team USA. Team USA is tasked to defend our nation, and I know you're ready for the task. Now, to accomplish that task, you're going to have to lead teams where winning is everything. There's no place for second in our business. That's where excellence comes into play, as well as your attitude and how you approach the team. You are about to become officers. You'll be put in positions immediately to lead small teams, to work with other teams and accomplish tasks. That is important because that's going to help prepare you to prevail in combat. So let's talk about a war story. All right? When I was commanding a wing in the Middle East, I was tasked to assemble a small detachment of fighters and deploy them to a place we had never put Air Force fighters before, Djibouti, Africa. It's on the Horn of Africa for all you geography majors, but that's where it was. It's a small country with a commercial airfield. We had to go there, put in a small team, and start flying operations immediately as we were supporting the evacuation of Americans out of Somalia. The team went down to Djibouti, negotiated access to the airfield, set up operations, flew operations, numerous flights, saved thousands of American lives, all inside 24 hours. 24 hours. We had a space lieutenant who coordinated all of our satellite communications. Critical, given that we didn't have any Air Force bases or any U.S. military even close in the region. We had a lieutenant who ran all the maintenance operations and delivered on every tasking. We had a communications lieutenant who set up all of our communications. In that communications, they did it to the Air Force, they did it to the Special Ops and our Navy teammates, they did it to the embassy. We had clear comms, and those were lieutenants doing all that work. The aircrew conducted shows of force and dropped numerous weapons in support of that evacuation with no incidents, which means we hit the target every time. That is excellence in action. This small, mighty team endured blistering heat. It was hot. And I don't think you realize what I mean by hot, but it was hot. It was unfamiliar conditions, but that positive can-do attitude got them through it. Now, that didn't just happen with a bunch of individuals going down there and doing that. That was a team who worked well together, who supported each other, who knew the roles and responsibilities and did their job. Leaders instilling mission and focus is what got them through all of that. Many said it was an impossible task, but they got it done. Now, I mentioned E stands for excellence. We're in the business of excellence. As a leader, you must demand excellence. I didn't say perfection. I said excellence. It's an important distinction because we're always striving for excellence. We might meet perfection once in a glimmering moment, but probably never. We're going to continue to try for excellence. Now, let me illustrate this in my second war story. When I was a lieutenant long ago, all right? I was a lieutenant in the 428th Fighter Squadron at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada. It was my first operational assignment as a lieutenant. My additional duty was to work with the maintainers, okay? Specifically focused on fine-tuning our F-16 Block 15 aircraft, okay, to deliver bombs as accurately as possible. Back then, we didn't have GPS and all those fancy things that the Space Force now delivers for us. So every single detail mattered on those F-16s. Every day, the operations and maintenance teams focused on that. Every component that made up that F-16, from maintainers to weapons troops to avionics folks and the pilots. We were working together with a singular focus, a singular mission to be the best. Well, come 1987, a long time ago, a nationwide fighter competition was announced, pitting every fighter unit across the continental United States against each other. The task, fly the same distance, conduct air refueling, end up on a bombing range, drop 6 bombs, shoot the gun, all to prove that we were ready for combat, and of course, determine who was the best. The evaluation included grading our maintainers' ability to prepare and launch those F-16s, in our case. Other airplanes, A-10s, F-15Es, etc., were all part of this. And our ability as pilots to hit the target. All this would culminate in an award ceremony at the end to pick a winner. I happened to be selected to be one of the 4 pilots to fly that day. We went out to the jets and started engines. My maintainers noted something wrong with my airplane and shut me down and sent me to the spare. It was an incredibly good find by our maintainers. Notice the focus on excellence. Now, as I got in there, the second airplane is strapped in. Staff Sergeant Madden come running up to my airplane and told me to delay my start as they swapped the black box from my previous airplane into the airplane I was currently sitting in. So I sat there, nervous, but I sat there, and they did their job. We then started airplanes, and off we went. We refueled on the way, flew halfway across the United States, turned around, and flew all the way back to California, where we participated in the bombing competition. My jet performed exactly as I expected. I hit the target, which at this time was an old truck on the bombing range, with my practice bombs. In fact, all 6 bombs went through the exact same window of that truck. We had no GPS. Needless to say, at the end of all of this, our maintainers won the overall award, and we, the 4 pilots, took home the Long Rifle Championship as the best team in the entire continental United States. As a lieutenant, this stuck with me. It really did. How an ops maintenance team focused on excellence and a can-do attitude could accomplish such an incredible feat against very capable units from across the United States. Therefore, I fashioned my leadership style after that team approach. Now, as a side note to this story, this war story, fast forward 15 years, I'm arriving to take command of the 14th Fighter Squadron in Misawa, Japan. There to meet Suzanne and I as we got off the commercial airplane to take command was none other than Chief Master Sergeant Madden, the highest ranking enlisted member. He was going to be my maintenance superintendent for my command. I knew right then we were going to be focused on team, and we were. So let me wrap this up, and as I'm sure you're now tired of an old guy talking up here, and you're ready to pin on and do those amazing things that you're going to do. But I do hope you remember team. The team is going to win and achieve that. There is no shortcuts. Excellence matters. It's important because we're in the business of life and death. Therefore, I'd ask you to think carefully about everything you do, because everybody's going to be watching you as you go to your new assignments. They're going to watch that new lieutenant to see whether or not you're focused on excellence. They will assess your attitude to judge what kind of leader you're going to be. Believe that you are an American with a can-do attitude. The team you're joining is counting on you to pull your weight, but I know you're ready. I'm incredibly envious of your position, sitting in those seats about to go into the Air Force or the Space Force, starting this exciting journey of service to defend our nation. If I could rewind the clock, I'd jump in your shoes. I would. But I've spent my 41 years serving our Air Force. It's now your time to accept that charge. I have no worries. I'm incredibly confident that you're going to go out there and do everything you need to lead in our Air Force and our Space Force. Thank you for letting an old general tell a few war stories and thoughts for you to think about. I wish you all the best and Godspeed.
It is truly an honor and privilege to have you here with us today as a treasured guest of this detachment. As a token of our gratitude, we would like to present you with this gift. We hope this serves as an extension of our gratitude for you being here with us today.
Thank you again, Lieutenant General Lofgren, for your inspiring words. Before we proceed further, I'd like to just take a moment and set the gravity of what we are all about to witness here today. The 34 cadets seated before you stand on the threshold of a defining milestone and the capstone of their Air Force ROTC journey, the taking of the oath of office. This, however, is no ordinary pledge. It is a solemn vow to themselves, to you, and this nation. And it is a promise to faithfully support and defend the Constitution of the United States and all that it stands for. With this oath, they will affirm their commitment to service with both honor and integrity. And lastly, with this oath, they officially mark their transformation from cadets into commissioned officers in the United States Air and Space Forces. So how's this going to work? Each of the 34 commissionees will have a military officer of their choosing give the oath of office to them on stage. Following the administration of the oath, guests of the candidate's choosing will join the new lieutenants on stage to have their new ranks pinned on. Then, in keeping with the proud military tradition, each new officer will then render their first salute to an enlisted member. The lieutenant will then present the saluting enlisted member with a silver dollar upon the return of their salute. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the moment you've all been waiting for, commissioning. Our first commissionee is Tyler Burke, who graduated from the Colorado School of Mines with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Cyberspace Operations Officer and Gold Bar Recruiter. Cadet Byrd will receive the oath of office from his father, Major Dwayne Byrd, United States Air Force, retired. Second Lieutenant Byrd will have his ranks pinned on by his mother, Lori Byrd, and his sister, Jessie Byrd. Second Lieutenant Byrd has elected to render his first salute on active duty. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Tyler Byrd. Our next commissionee is Blake Blevins, who graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Business Management and Marketing. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Combat Systems Officer. Cadet Blevins will receive the oath of office from his brother, Second Lieutenant Brendan Blevins, United States Marine Corps. Blevins will have his ranks pinned on by his mother, Senior Master Sergeant Denise Blevins, United States Air Force, retired. His father, Shane Blevins, and his brother, Second Lieutenant Brendan Blevins, United States Marine Corps. Second Lieutenant Blevins has elected to render his first salute to his mother, Senior Master Sergeant Denise Blevins, United States Air Force, retired. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Blake Blevins. Our next commissionee is Oliver Cassis, who graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Finance. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Combat Systems Officer. Cadet Cassis will receive the oath of office from Detachment 105 Cadre Captain Ethan Brown, United States Air Force. mother, Lisa Clements. Second Lieutenant Cassis has elected to render his first salute on active duty. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Oliver Cassis. Our next commissionee is Roxanne Clark, who graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Arts in Mandarin Chinese. She is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as an intelligence officer. Cadet Clark will receive the oath of office from her father, Major Trevor Clark, U.S. Marine Corps, retired. Jennifer Clark. Second Lieutenant Clark has elected to render her first salute to former Detachment 105 Cadre, Master Sergeant Hope Ajavandi, United States Air Force. Roxanne Clark. For our next commissionee is Jacob Colbert, who graduated from the Colorado School of Mines with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a remotely piloted aircraft pilot trainee. Cadet Colbert will receive the oath of office from his father, Colonel Christopher Colbert, United States Air Force, retired. Pinned on by his mother, Nicole Colbert, and his brother, Andrew and Nathan Colbert. Second Lieutenant Colbert has elected to render his first salute to his brother, Senior Airman Zachary Colbert, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Jacob Colbert. Our next commissionee is Sarah Conroy, who graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Arts in Integrative Physiology. She is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a pilot trainee. Cadet Conroy will receive the oath of office from her father, Captain Donald Conroy, United States Air Force, retired. Second Lieutenant Conroy has elected to render her first salute on active duty. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Sarah Conroy. Our next commissionee is Nicole Krause, who graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. She's being commissioned to the United States Space Force as a Space Operations Officer. Cadet Krause will receive the oath of office from former Detachment 105 Cadre Major Bradley Michael, United States Space Force. Richard Krause, her mother Cynthia Krause, and her sister Natalie Krause. Second Lieutenant Krause has elected to render her first salute to former Detachment 105 Cadre Master Sergeant Hope Hajavandi, United States Air Force. Commissionee is David Dinsmore, who graduated from the Colorado School of Mines with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and a Master's of Science in Additive Manufacturing. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Combat Systems Officer. Cadet Dinsmore will receive the oath of office from Lieutenant Colonel Kamal Kaush, United States Air Force, retired. this time, Second Lieutenant Dinsmore will have his ranks pinned on by his father, Randy Dinsmore, his mother, Linda Dinsmore, and his sister, Rachel Dinsmore. The new second lieutenant has elected to render his first salute to his brother-in-law, Staff Sergeant Justin Short, United States Army National Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant David Dinsmore. Our next commissionee is Jordan Diomede, who graduated from the University of Colorado Springs with a Bachelor of Science in Business Management. She is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Judge Advocate General. Cadet Diomede will receive the oath of office from the Detachment 105 Commander Colonel Rebecca Lang, United States Air Force. At this time, Second Lieutenant Diomede will have her ranks pinned on by her fiancé, Christian Prowlis, her father, Joey Diomede, and her mother, Heather Diomede. Second Lieutenant Diomede has elected to render her first salute to former Detachment 105 Cadre, Master Sergeant Hope Ajavandi, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Jordan Diomede. Our next commissionee is Emma Dunaway, who graduated from the Colorado School of Mines with a Bachelor of Science in Engineering and Physics. She is being commissioned into the United States Air Force as a pilot trainee. Cadet Dunaway will receive the oath of office from Second Lieutenant Thomas Jeanson, United States Air Force. pinned on by her mother, Lori Dunaway, and her father, Scott Dunaway. Second Lieutenant Dunaway has elected to render her first salute to her brother-in-law, Specialist Zachary Elwood, United States Army. Lieutenant Dunaway. Our next commissionee is Jared Dutton. He graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Cyberspace Operations Officer. Cadet Dutton will receive the oath of office from Detachment 105 Cadre Captain Ethan Brown, United States Air Force. Joyce Dutton, his grandmother Gloria Dutton, and his sister Christabel Dutton. Second Lieutenant Dutton has elected to render his first salute to his father, Master Sergeant Kenneth Dutton, United States Air Force, retired. Our next commissionee is Avery Faulkner, who graduated from the University of Denver with a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. She is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as an Operations Research Officer. Cadet Faulkner will receive the oath of office from her father, Lieutenant Colonel Adam Faulkner, United States Air Force, retired.
Having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Faulkner will have her ranks pinned on by her grandfather, Colonel Con McDonald, United States Air Force, retired. Her grandfather, Colonel Frank Faulkner, United States Air Force, retired. And her mother, Alicia Faulkner. Second Lieutenant Faulkner has elected to render her first salute to Senior Airman Marin York, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Avery Faulkner. Our next commissionee is Christopher Franklin. Who graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a remotely piloted aircraft pilot trainee. Cadet Franklin will receive the oath of office from Lieutenant Colonel Tom Falconer, United States Air Force, retired.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. Having been appointed as Second Lieutenant of the United States Air Force, solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
I, Christopher Mark Franklin, having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter, so help me God.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Franklin will have his ranks pinned on by his brother Josh Franklin and his mentor Bruno Criasi. Second Lieutenant Franklin has elected to render his first salute to former Detachment 105 Cadre, Master Sergeant Hope Ajamandi, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Christopher Franklin. Our next commissionee is Austin Gibbs. He graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as an aeronautical engineer. Cadet Gibbs will receive the oath of office from Detachment 105 Cadre Captain Ethan Brown, United States Air Force.
I, Austin Christopher Gibbs, having been appointed as Second Lieutenant of the United States Air Force, having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, support and defend the Constitution of the United States, against all enemies, foreign and domestic, against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. The office upon which I am about to enter, so help me God. So help me God.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Gibbs will have his ranks pinned on by his father, Brian Gibbs, and his mother, Renee Gibbs. Second Lieutenant Gibbs has elected to render his first salute to Detachment 105 Cadre, Staff Sergeant Logan Bell, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Austin Gibbs. Our next commissionee is Ethan Greenlee. Who graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Arts in International Affairs. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a pilot trainee. Cadet Greenlee will receive the oath of office from Detachment 105 Cadre Captain Ethan Brown, United States Air Force.
I, Ethan Wayne, having been appointed the Second Lieutenant of the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
to support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
keep this obligation free,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Greenlee will have his ranks pinned on by his grandfather, Master Sergeant Preston Greenlee, United States Air Force retired, his father, Senior Airman Robert Greenlee, United States Air Force, and his mother, Elizabeth Wynn. Second Lieutenant Greenlee has elected to render his first salute to his father, Senior Airman Robert Greenlee, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Ethan Greenlee. Our next commissionee is Maria Kisnerman. Who graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Arts in International Affairs. She is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Logistics Readiness Officer. Cadet Kisnerman will receive the oath of office from former Detachment 105 Cadre Major Bradley Michael, United States Space Force.
Having been appointed the Second Lieutenant of the United States Air Force, solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Kisnerman will have her ranks pinned on by her father, Petty Officer Second Class Mark Kisnerman, United States Navy, her mother, Sean Kisnerman, and her sisters, Julie and Annie Kisnerman. Second Lieutenant Kisnerman has elected to render her first salute to her father, Petty Officer Second Class Mark Kisnerman, United States Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Maria Kisnerman. Our next commissionee is Basil Lamb. Who graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. He is being commissioned into the United States Air Force as a Cyberspace Operations Officer. Cadet Lamb will receive the oath of office from Detachment 105 Cadre Captain Ethan Brown, United States Air Force.
I, Basil Lamb,
Been appointed the Second Lieutenant of the United States Air Force,
having been appointed the Second Lieutenant of the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
has elected to render his first salute to Specialist Nikosh Kalachowski, United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Basil Lamb. Our next commissionee is Sydney Laxdal, who graduated from the University of Colorado, Denver with a Master of Public Administration in Emergency Management and Homeland Security. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as an intelligence officer. Cadet Laxdal will receive the oath of office from Detachment 105 Cadre Major Melissa Reister, United States Air Force. At this time, Second Lieutenant Laxdal will have his ranks pinned on by his father, Sidney Laxdal, his mother, Bridget Laxdal, and his sister, Katrina Laxdal. Second Lieutenant Laxdal has elected to render his first salute to Technical Sergeant Joshua Herron, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Sidney Laxdal. Our next commissionee is Colin Lindquist. Graduate from the University of Colorado Boulder, Bachelor of Science in Finance. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a pilot trainee. Cadet Lindquist will receive the oath of office from his brother, Second Lieutenant Jack Lindquist, United States Space Force. At this time, Second Lieutenant Lindquist will have his ranks pinned on by his mother, Pamela Lush Lindquist, his father, Peter Lindquist, and his grandmother, Karen Lush. Second Lieutenant Lindquist has elected to render his first salute to former Detachment 105 Cadre Master Sergeant Hope Ajane, United States Air Force. next commissionee is Eli Lofgren. Graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder, Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a general engineer. Cadet Lofgren received the oath of office from his uncle, Lieutenant General Jeffrey Lofgren, United States Air Force, retired.
I, Eli Gabriel Lofgren, been appointed the second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. Do solemnly swear. I will support the Constitution of the United States and all laws against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. I take this obligation freely, without any without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. That I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Lofgren had his ranks pinned on by his mother, Lisa Lofgren, his father, Eric Lofgren, and his sister, Morgan Lofgren. Second Lieutenant Lofgren has elected to render his first salute on active duty. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Eli Lofgren. Our next commissionee is Olivia Marcial. Graduate from the University of Colorado Boulder, Bachelor of Arts in Chinese. She is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Combat Systems Officer. Cadet Marcial will receive the oath of office from her mother, Major Tess Marcial, United States Air Force, retired. At this time, Second Lieutenant Marcial will have her ranks pinned on by her brother Joshua Marcial and her sister Staff Sergeant Alicia Gutierrez, United States Space Force. Second Lieutenant Marcial has elected to render her first salute to her father, Master Sergeant Bernardo Marcial, United States Marine Corps, retired. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Olivia Marcial. Our next commissionee is Emerson McClary. Bachelor of Science in Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Security Forces Officer. Cadet McClary will receive the oath of office from Second Lieutenant Kobe Fan, United States Air Force.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. I, Emerson James Torres McClary, having been appointed the second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force. Do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation
elected to render his first salute to Sergeant Jacob Spanis, United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Emerson McClary. Our next commissionee is Ian McGrath. Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and a Bachelor of Science in Business Finance. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a pilot trainee. Cadet McGrath will receive the oath of office from Lieutenant Colonel Nichelle Summers, United States Air Force.
I, Ian McGrath,
Having been appointed second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith, that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
His father, John McGrath, his mother, Courtney McGrath, and his sister, Lauren McGrath. Second Lieutenant McGrath has elected to render his first salute on active duty. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Ian McGrath. Our next commissionee is Caesar Nefrata. Graduated from Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Political Science and History. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as an intelligence officer. Cadet Nefrata will receive the oath of office from his mother, Colonel Marielle Pettijohn, United States Air Force, and his father, Second Lieutenant Colonel Caesar Nefrata, United States Air Force.
I, Caesar Nefrata, having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force, do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Nefrata will have his ranks pinned on by his partner Sidney Rockmore, his brother Augustus Nefrata, and his sister Holland Nefrata. Second Lieutenant Nefrata has elected to render his first salute to Petty Officer Second Class Nicole Schnall, United States Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Caesar Nefrata. Our next commissionee is Seamus O'Malley. United States Air Force as an acquisitions manager. Cadet O'Malley will receive the oath of office from Detachment 105 Cadre, Captain Ethan Brown, United States Air Force. His ranks pinned on by his father, Joseph O'Malley, his mother, Mary Kay O'Malley, and his girlfriend, Sophia McFord. Second Lieutenant O'Malley has elected to render his first salute to Detachment 105 Cadre, Staff Sergeant Logan Bell, United States Air Force. Our next commissionee is Patrick Orlowski. He graduated from the Colorado School of Mines with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as an aircraft maintenance officer. Cadet Orlowski will receive the oath of office from his father, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Orlowski, United States Air Force. Sister, Maddie Orlowski. Second Lieutenant Orlowski has elected to render his first salute on active duty. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Patrick Orlowski. Our next commissionee is Wesley Parker. He graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. He is being commissioned in the United States Space Force as a Space Operations Officer. Cadet Parker will receive the oath of office from his father, Lieutenant Colonel Jason Parker, United States Air Force, retired. Colonel Jason Parker, United States Air Force, retired, and his mother, Julie Parker. Second Lieutenant Parker has elected to render his first salute on active duty. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Wesley Parker. Our next commissionee is Daniel Peterson. Graduate from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Combat Systems Officer. Cadet Peterson will receive the oath of office from Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Hemming, United States Air Force, retired. His mother, Carol Peterson, and his sister, Anna Peterson. Second Lieutenant Peterson has elected to render his first salute to Senior Airman Jose Verdina, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Daniel Peterson. Our next commissionee is Harvey Rosas Franco. Graduate from the University of Colorado Denver with a Bachelor of Science in Architecture and a Master's of Engineering in Civil Engineering. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as an architectural engineer. Cadet Rosas Franco will receive the oath of office from Lieutenant Colonel William Arrington, United States Air Force, retired. His mother, Luz Franco Gomez, and his brother, Christian Rosas Franco. Second Lieutenant Rosas Franco has elected to render his first salute to his brother, Private First Class John Madrid, Colombian National Army. Next commissionee is Evan Stoddard. He graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Master's of of Science in Civil Engineering. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a civil engineer. Cadet Stoddard will receive the oath of office from his father, Commander Ryan Stoddard, United States Navy, retired.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I am Calloway Stoddard,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant
having been appointed a second lieutenant
in the United States Air Force,
in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support and defend
to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Stoddard will have his ranks pinned on by his fiancee, Sydney Gallagher, his mother, Michelle Stoddard, and his brother, Grant Stoddard. Second Lieutenant Stoddard has elected to render his first salute to Detachment 105 Cadres Staff Sergeant Logan Bell, United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Evan Stoddard. Our next commissionee is Kendall Tallman. He graduated from the University of Colorado Boulder with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. She is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a mechanical engineer. Cadet Talley will receive the oath of office from Second Lieutenant Blake Blevins, United States Air Force.
I, Kendall Gabrielle Talley, having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. That I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Talley will have her ranks pinned on by her mother, Bridget Talley, her father, George Talley, and her brother, Liam Talley. Second Lieutenant Talley has elected to render her first salute to her aunt, Petty Officer Second Class Kathleen Talley, United States Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Kendall Talley. Our next commissionee is Garrett Glee. Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a pilot trainee. Cadet Fleet will receive the oath of office from his father, Colonel Lawrence Fleet, United States Air Force, retired.
I state your full name,
I, Garrett Lawrence Fleet,
having been appointed second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution
Second Lieutenant Vliet has elected to render his first salute to Master Sergeant Joseph Lachette, United States Air Force, retired. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Garrett Vliet. Our next commissionee is Samuel Welch. Graduated from the University of Colorado Springs with a Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a Logistics Readiness Officer. Cadet Welch will receive the oath of office from Attachment 105 Cadre Major Melissa Reeser, United States Air Force.
I, Samuel Bryant Welch, having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Welch will have his ranks pinned on by his wife, Christina Welch, and his father, Christian Welch. Second Lieutenant Welch has elected to render his first salute to Specialist Brandon Sidler, United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Samuel Welch. Our final commissionee is Nicholas Young. Graduated from the University of Colorado with a Bachelor of Science in Aerospace Engineering. He is being commissioned in the United States Air Force as a pilot trainee. Cadet Young will receive the oath of office from his father, Captain Jerome Young, United States Army, retired.
I, appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
At this time, Second Lieutenant Young will have his ranks pinned on by his uncle Thomas Lassman, his aunt Anya Lassman, and his sister Fabian Young. Second Lieutenant Young has elected to render his first salute to Airman First Class Cameron Hirsch, United States Air Force. would once again like to welcome Colonel Lang and Captain Ethan Brown to the stage to present several awards for us.
But before we get to awards, we need to congratulate 34 new lieutenants to the Air and Space. You guys look really good in gold. I'm just saying. All right, so first of all, I gotta say that drinks tonight are on Master Sergeant Hajavani for as many times as she was on here. Whew. What's that? That's true. That's true. All right, so traditionally we present only the Distinguished Graduate Awards at this time, but however, as the cadets have learned this year, it's okay to scoff at the way we've always done it. You've heard that more than once. All right, so there are a few more we'd like to highlight today because we're here to celebrate and publicly acknowledge some additional prestigious awards. So there's going to be two that have already been presented, but they were that big of a deal. I wanted to do it here so the families could help celebrate. There's going to be one new one, and then we'll get to our three distinguished graduates. So earlier this semester, Cadet Nicole Kraus, now Lieutenant Kraus, earned the prestigious award of Cadet of the Year, presented by the Air and Space Force Association for her high-level impact to advance undergraduate space education across the nation, also serving as the I-5 National President. So LT, can you please stand as the entire room celebrates your incredible accomplishment as AFA Cadet of the Year. So last month, Lieutenant Ali Cassis completed a prestigious program with the Center for Leadership. He was named a CFL Graduating Leader of the Year and described by his peers as the definition of service before self. He exemplifies resilience and the drive to empower others. So LT, please stand so that we can recognize you. Sponsored by the Det 105 Alumni Association, and it is called the Spirit of the Thunder Chief. To honor the cadet who embodies the bold, relentless spirit of Det 105, this leader lives service before self, first in, last out, showing up every day with an unwavering commitment to teammates, the mission, and their calling as a future officer. They work hard, play hard, they never quit. They don't just lead, they bring everybody else forward with them. And when we think of the Thunder Chief, think of them. So on behalf of Jorge Cervantes and Rode Cohn, the co-leads for the Det 105 Alumni Association, the inaugural Spirit of the Thunder Chief Award is presented to Second Lieutenant Garrett Bleet. to present this afternoon. And with such an outstanding class, you can only imagine how difficult this was. The names are from a tough, months-long deliberation across the entire cadre, looking at the whole picture of the entire cadet career. So our first distinguished graduate is awarded to a leader as driven as she is kind, one who thinks strategically. When it matters most, it keeps her focus firmly on people. Through her thoughtful, human-centered leadership, she has strengthened the bonds of community in Colorado Springs, all the way up Highway 36, inspiring others while charting a bold path toward law school and future meaningful impact. Her impact will continue to thrust our detachment forward for many years to come. So congratulations, Lieutenant Diomede. So our second distinguished graduate, for boldly challenging the status quo, for asking tough questions, for setting high standards, and leading with a creative heart that inspires, uplifts, and advances the mission of the organization beyond expectations. She holds herself and everyone around her to a higher standard. She challenges others to rise alongside her. And with wisdom and grace beyond her years, she has navigated complex national and social policy changes, demonstrating the maturity, the courage, and the clarity of purpose that set her apart as a truly distinguished leader. Congratulations, Lieutenant Marcial. All right, so the last distinguished graduate is presented to a leader who aggressively seeks challenges and looks at every obstacle as an opportunity. A vocal, highly accomplished, and creative force, he leads with confidence and conviction, earning the respect of peers and perhaps a little bit of fear from the freshmen. He works as hard as he plays, bringing energy and enthusiasm to everything that he does, while constantly offering new and creative solutions to every problem across the spectrum. His bold leadership, relentless pursuit of excellence, and unwavering commitment to raise the standard have left an unforgettable mark on this organization. Congratulations, Lieutenant Lindquist. All right, but most importantly, congratulations to all of you for entering the profession of arms. We are really proud to put that Det 105 stamp on every single one of you. Turn it back to Captain Scarlett to close us out.
Now, I'd like to now invite our new second lieutenants to stand at their seats and face the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, your Detachment 105 Spring 2025 Commissioning Class. All right, before we close out here today, I'd like to take a few moments to give some final acknowledgments and thanks to the people and organizations that made today a little extra special for our new lieutenants. The Air Force Association has generously provided the new second lieutenants with an American flag, each one flown proudly within an F-16 Fighting Falcon by the 120th Fighter Squadron, Colorado Air National Guard. The new officers will have these flags presented to them inside a flag box memorializing their time here at the detachment. that Admiral Arleigh Burke chapter of the Military Officers Association of America has generously donated the gold bars that are now pinned to the shoulders of our newly commissioned second lieutenants, representing the service commitment that they have just embarked upon. And finally, we'd like to thank each and every one who worked tirelessly to make this ceremony possible. And lastly, prior to every Air Force ROTC Leadership Lab throughout the school year, the cadets sing the first verse of the Air Force song and the Space Force song. At this time, please rise as the newly commissioned officers will lead us in singing those songs one final time at Detachment 105. Those songs can be found on the final page of your ceremony program, so please feel free to join in. Off we go. Into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, soon to meet our thunder. Adam now, give 'em the gun, give 'em the gun, hey! Down we dive, starting our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame or go down in flames. Hey! Nothing will stop the U.S. Air Force. Where the mighty watchful eye. Guardians beyond the blue. The invisible front line. War fighters great and true. Boldly reaching into space. There's no limit to our skies. Standing guard both night and day. We're the Space Force from on high. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the Spring 2025 commissioning ceremony. It has truly been my pleasure to be your master of ceremony. Please enjoy the refreshments outside on the patio, along with the commissionee shadow boxes. We hope you will continue to take photos and socialize as we celebrate this day of achievement.